Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 21st of January 2022. And I went along to the physio last night and the lady seemed to sort me out nicely, just sort of massage the affected area for a while and then a bit of manipulation, and things seemed to sort of click back into place. A little bit tender still, but it certainly feels better. And the good thing about it is the lady is someone who is awake like us. Actually got a recommendation from a lady who goes to my local stand in the park that this physio lady is awake, and so while she was working on me, I had a good old chat about stand in the park and shopping trips and all the other current stuff going on. And speaking of shopping trips, we've got the one going on in London tomorrow, and it's not just London. I know for sure there's one in Birmingham, and I should think almost certainly there'll be ones in Manchester and Glasgow at least, and probably quite a few other sort of major cities up and down the country, and indeed across the world. I think there's going to be these kind of shopping trips happening everywhere, both on Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be great. And I think pretty much everyone at my local stand in the park are going by the looks of it, and I think that's going to be echoed up and down the country, and it's going to be absolutely massive, I think. And it's the London one. If you're going to that one, apparently starting at 1 o'clock at the BBC, and the nearest tube station to that is Oxford Circus, apparently. So if you're going to that one, hopefully I'll see you there and we can have a bit of a chat. And if you want to appear on camera, I can do a quick little interview with you as well. So I hopefully see you there. Now, I'm seeing a lot of comments about all these easing of restrictions and how we need to be on our guard and that it's not over. They're going to come back out sort of again in the next month or two with sort of swinging punches once again, catching us unawares. And I do agree, we need to be on our guard, definitely, for sure. But I do think I don't think there's much fight left in them. I think they're frightened, and I think they're going to sort of sitting there thinking that they'll count themselves very lucky if they just get away with the whole thing just dying down and going away. And their probably worst fears are that they're going to be dragged in front of a court somewhere and forced out of office, and most likely into prison as well. So I think they are just doing a lot of backpedaling because of that. And there's a lot of backpedaling in the sort of mainstream media as well, isn't there? I saw just last night, I got to the pub a bit early. That was quite funny because one of the guys who goes to our stand in the park and stand in the pub on Thursday nights, he kind of runs a food bank thing, so I get some food for him to donate to that. And there's a big Asda just kind of up the road from where we go, and I went in there because I just wanted one last little bit of rebellion, sort of obviously not like that, and I just wanted one last little bit of a rebellion before sort of everybody doesn't have to wear them anymore. Well, I say everybody, no doubt some of them will, but I went in there and there was a good percentage, probably 10% of people in Asda sort of not muzzled up. And again, I went to electrical wholesaler for this morning's job to get a couple of bits, and no one in there, either staff or sort of 2 or 3 other customers in there, were muzzled up either. So I think a lot of people are sort of giving up on them, even though officially you're not supposed to until Thursday. But anyway, I was digressing there. I was in the pub waiting for the stand in the park. I got there a bit early, and so I was just watching a couple of bits on YouTube, and one of them was from BBC Scotland, and they had an interview with this lady who was really slamming the narrative and saying how, politicians have lied to us about various figures, and how other people have lied to us about the figures as well. And really dropping some truth bombs. And the presenter lady was going, this is just blowing my mind, kind of thing. And and this is at the BBC we're talking about as well. And then another guy, a guy came on sort of towards the end of the clip, and the presenter was saying, do you agree with that lady? And he was going, yes, absolutely, 100%. And she's a bit gobsmacked about that as well, the presenter. So that was very interesting. I also saw an article kind of from some local paper. I can't remember what locality it was. I want to say Blackpool, that kind of area, but I could be wrong. But the November Hotel Sierra staff, some of them up there, are having a kind of a protest, and that was reported by the this local paper. So not only is the mainstream media starting to report on all this stuff, they are sort of doing so quite matter-of-factly, rather than in the hysterical way they were before. And I saw an article from another mainstream media source, can't remember which one, but they were sort of saying how Johnson was bounced into the second lockdown by sort of wildly inaccurate forecasting, which of course is something that you and I could have told them sort of 15 months ago, just before going into that second lockdown. And it's quite sort of ironic, because those very same mainstream media people were the ones kind of screaming at the time, Johnson's not putting us into the second lockdown fast enough. Why aren't you locking down now? Why are you waiting until next week? Why are you sort of delaying? I seem to remember. But even them now are sort of asking questions and speculating as to why we even had to go into the second lockdown, and sort of probably the third one as well. So the upshot of what I'm trying to say is there's just so much backpedaling going on, and it's just coming out all the time. And I think it's because they know, don't they, that there's all this evidence and new stuff coming out, and they just can't ignore it anymore. So they're sort of reporting on it, and no doubt kind of hoping that by sort of reporting sort of honestly, that it's going to somehow save them, which I don't think it will. If there's any justice, it certainly won't. But it's nice to see the kind of stuff that I've been going on about for 15, 16 months, and the stuff that we've all been talking about for all this time is finally being discussed in the mainstream. And there's going to be people up and down the country reading these articles, watching these sort of TV programs, and hopefully waking up to all the nonsense and sort of starting to come towards the same page as what we've been on all this time. So very, very interesting. And I don't think it's going to change. I think this these revelations are going to keep coming out. This backpedaling is going to continue, and yeah, I'm very positive that this whole thing is going to be coming to an end in the not too distant future. We've got a lot of work. We certainly can't let our guard down or anything like that. Yeah, we need to continue fighting. There's a lot of work to be done, as I said in yesterday's video, particularly the November Hotel Sierra staff facing sort of losing their jobs. And yeah, we need to, there's a lot of fighting to be done, is what I'm trying to say, but at long last things seem to be going in the right direction. And yeah, you do see some pessimistic comments here and there, sort of people saying stuff like, yeah, you know, the powers that shouldn't be, they've spent trillions on this, you know, they're not going to let that go kind of lightly. I disagree, because, you know, the powers that shouldn't be have all the money, they control all the money, they own all the central banks, and, you know, £5 trillion or whatever they've spent is nothing to them. And if they wanted to, they could sort of just press a few keys on the old keyboard, press enter, and magic up another 5 trillion, just, you know, just like that, if they wanted to. So, you know, if it means losing 5 trillion to kind of just melt away back into the shadows and come back out another time, I don't think that will faze them very much at all. But what will faze them, of course, is that day when we finally catch up with them and stop them from ever doing anything like this again. And rest assured, yours truly will be doing all I can to kind of make sure they see justice, and I will not be sort of relaxing, letting my guard down, or stopping the fight anytime soon. And I do want to see these people brought to account. So I think I'll leave it there. And as I say, if you're going to London tomorrow, I hope to see you there. But if you don't see me, enjoy yourselves. You know, it's going to be good tomorrow. So I'll see you. Well, I'll probably do some footage, of course, of the events tomorrow, and probably put a few kind of little clips on, like I normally do with these things, maybe with a few comments. So until then, Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.